This will be the third scripted video that I've ever made. The first one being the Infinity Ward multiplayer trailer. That kinda went viral, my parody video. I sound terrible in that video. And the second one, I think I wrote a lot of stuff down from my Cerberus guide on Mass Effect 3. And that video was pretty good, it was alright. Never got the Reaper one out, unfortunately. But back in December, when I was really playing Black Ops 3, I legit nerded out and I wrote 1,400 words about Ghost. And I've updated it a few times since then. I completely forgot about it until about a week ago. And I don't know how accurate everything is in here. I have a note at the top that in Black Ops 1, the UAV pings or does the swipe every 2 seconds, where in Black Ops 3 it's every 4. But I'm pretty sure the more UAVs you have up, the more pings you get per 30 seconds. So if you have 2 up, you'll get a ping every 2 seconds instead of every 4, at higher frequency. Just noted that in some VOD I was watching. But let's talk about the infamous Ghost perk, shall we? So I've got 1, 2, 4, 5 reasons of why Ghost sucks, okay? Reason number 1, the perk depends on your enemies succeeding. Very important. Like Blind Eye, Ghost relies on your enemy killing you multiple times in a row. Instead of using Ghost, you could use Flak Jacket to live through that opening round grenade that hit you. Or you could use Overlock to get your specialists faster and shut them down quicker. Or Afterburner to hit a flanking round quicker and you jump in the air longer. Or even Sixth Sense to see them creeping in the corner when they're one away from the streaks, baiting you to turn the corner. Or, this is all of course has to do with Black Ops 3, you could simply not use a first perk and use a wild card for another green or red perk or an extra attachment that will help you in 1v1s. One more attachment to one in 1v1 is more important than using a perk to hide you from a kill streak that is up because you lost that 1v1. Multiple times, of course. It's kind of like Last Stand or Martyrdom. Perks that are designed to help you after failure are bad for the game, in my opinion. I mean, I would regard that as a fact, but I'm crazy. Things that help you after you fail are less effective than things that will keep you alive and stop you from failing. Makes sense, right? That's why more health is always more powerful than something after you die. Perfect example is Radiant Skin versus Self-Res on the Sunsinger. Reason number 2. UAVs are too hard to get in Call of Duty now. The average player is right around a 1 KD player. That's redundant. The average player has about a 1 KD. In TDM, the most popular game mode, a UAV is 500 points, or a 5 kill streak under most circumstances. That is too hard for a majority of the players. In COD 4, a nade and a double kill could get you a UAV. In a Black Ops 1, with Hardline and an AUG or FAMAS, you could easily get an UAV basically every life if you're playing well. Of course, now things are different with the scoring system. In objective modes, points can rack up very quickly. Domination captures and flag carrier kills can easily lead to high streaks, and the game will be swayed in one's favor. But overall, getting UAV in COD has only been harder in Advanced Warfare. In objective modes, UAVs, are really good, but they're just a lot more rare because you have to be playing well and you have to be playing around the objective, which is, of course, riskier. Reason number 3. UAVs at this point are also overrated. UAV lasts 30 seconds, and in Black Ops 3, it swipes the map only 6 times. To really understand the point I'm about to make, you have to consider the playstyle for when a player knows where you are. Okay, so you've been spotted and you have to defend yourself. Consider yourself in that standpoint right now. Call of Duty is a game where if there's a 1v1 with only guns, no nades, no specialist abilities, the player who comes out of sprint first or has better cover is much more likely to win the fight because of the faster kill time. That's why I never use vision pulse, because I don't like giving away my position even though I have wall hacks. I'm basically telling them I know where they are, wow. So they're gonna move to the closest, head glitch and aim down sight. So unless I'm in a better head glitch, it's still gonna be a tough fight for me. In search, our teams were notorious for calling an UAV and everyone just sprints into the red dots and we all die. Even though we know where they are, we're going into enemies that are posted up and aiming down sight with guns that kill in 4 bolts. So UAV helps, but it can make you play like an idiot, and they're overrated. Reason number 4. Reason number 4. There's a very specific situation where Ghost is fantastic and arguably one of the best perks. But it's extremely selfish and costs way too much to happen. Imagine yourself playing solo with a bunch of greens or low levels against a party, and the majority of them are using UAV. Once the party gets 1 UAV, usually all of them will get him, and then they'll be closer to their higher streaks. If it's 6 on 6 with 5 red dots always on the radar, and you're the one guy who's not on the radar, you're basically a ninja. Players play more risky when they have UAV up and see that no one is around, so they start sprinting towards the red, only naturally. So with Ghost, this gives you an advantage over everyone on your team and against the other team, because you're baiting your teammates who are on the radar and you're not, and of course you catch the enemy team off guard every encounter, unless it's a 2v1, or unless they spot you right when their teammate dies. But if you do play like this, it'll come at the cost of your teammates' deaths. Eventually, they will die so much that the race and the talents and the VSATs and whatever high streak there is, it's really good right now, Black Ops 3, those will eventually be called in unless you clutch it on all of them every single time, which isn't going to happen. Even if you're running around undetected, you aren't helping your team at all. This was also the case and very popular in Black Ops 2. Hardline Ghost with the PDW silenced with VSAT Dogs and Swarm. That was the average commentator loadout. This class was extremely selfish and it didn't win games, unlike Flak Jacket and Hardwired and Tac Mask and all of the objective perks. You may be asking yourself, if you say Ghost is good against a party, wouldn't it be amazing if everyone had it on? No, then it would be detrimental. The main part of Ghost is that it takes advantage of players who don't use it. If everyone had it on, then no one would be on the radar. Of course, that would render the UAV useless, but consider this. Even though the other team can't see anyone during the UAV, they are still getting the kills necessary to call in the streak. Therefore, they are doing better than you, and they aren't using Ghost. It's like a +1 in a card game. Their pick 10 has 1 more slot for something useful. They aren't using Ghost, they're using Overclock, so they're getting their specialist faster than you. Or they're using an extra attachment, or anything that isn't that fucking perk. Reason number 5. The most important reason. If you're rushing, the chances are you are walking UAV of yourself. Every time you shoot, you appear on the radar, and everyone knows where you are. This is of course assuming if you don't use a silencer, because silencers are trash now. Ghost requires you to move for it to be active. If you're moving around, you will find action. If you find action, you'll be on the radar. So basically, you're going to be on the radar no matter what. So why even use the perk? Silencers are terrible in this game, and in previous combos, in previous Call of Duties, the obvious combo was UAV jammer plus a silencer, but then that doesn't get it done anymore. So basically, Ghost allows you to play really stupid and selfish. Black Ops 3 is the first Call of Duty with infinite sprint, and it's a rusher-friendly game. Bad players sprint around corners, bad players don't watch sidelines, they run headfirst into them. And if you play against me with Ghost on and no dead silence, which is very important, pre-awareness nerf, you're basically a free kill because I would catch you sprinting every fucking time with my Shiva. Boom, boom, dead. That's why I prefer the Call of Duty games where footsteps are relevant, because it's just another counter to the Ghost fucking bitches. Also, the competitive scene doesn't use UAVs for a very simple reason. The best players, whether it be a pub or COD champs, will use their minimap religiously, UAV or not. You look at it to see where your teammates are, not where the enemy is. Because the enemy is usually where your teammates aren't. And that is the golden rule that basically 90% of the population doesn't know. That's a totally made up number. That's how pros know when the spawn's flipping hardpoint. And that's why they pre-aim certain areas on the map, or sometimes they'll run right through that same area because they can look at the mini-map and tell where their teammates are, and they can assume that either somebody's there or somebody's not there. That's why counter UAV is so fucking good, because not only does it block your team on the UAV, but it also blocks the position of the enemy's team from themselves, so that they can't judge where you are based on their teammates' locations. And that's also why EMP grenades were so damn good in Black Ops 2, because players lost their minimap and wouldn't know which door to watch and, say, hardpoint. So basically, at this point, the next Call of Duty is going to be coming out soon, and I'm sure they've all got it all designed and shit. But if it were up to me, UAVs would be gone. And that would, of course, delete Ghosts from the game. It would free up so many options as for the player base. Titanfall, the game made by, the OG Modern Warfare 2 makers, had very similar gunplay to Call of Duty and a very similar minimap. And it played wonderful. Showed the layout of the buildings, you showed up as a red dot when you shot, and it worked. If UAV is removed, it will help the lower skilled players because they will get farmed less over and over, and it'll also force everyone to get better at the fucking game, which, might be terrifying, but good God, that would help. In the most popular Call of Duty, Modern Warfare 2, UAV was one of the least used kill streaks. It's because Modern Warfare 2 had at least a dozen viable killing kill streaks, imagine, where other Call of Duties have lackluster streaks that feel worthless. That's why UAV counter UAV in Blackbird is so good in Black Ops 1, because Mortar Team wasn't very good, and Attack Chopper wasn't very good. All of those ones in the middle were kind of eh. You either had to go all in with VSAT and Chopper Counter or VSAT Dogs, or you had to go UAV counter UAV Blackbird or Napalm Strike. So yeah, we want more good killing kill streaks. I and probably you too want more gunplay with streaks that get kills on the map, rather than gunplay and then hunt down the stupid idiots with rockets looking into the sky trying to shoot down the UAVs. And that's a whole nother part of the game that I didn't even write down. That's a total problem in Black Ops 3. It'll get to the point where 4 out of the 6 players in their team are trying to get gold camo on their rockets, and they'll just be looking up in the air trying to shoot down the UAVs, and you run back and forth just trying to kill them. That is terrible. But this isn't going to happen. UAVs and Ghosts are going to stay forever. So if Ghost is to stay in the game, something needs to happen. We need to go back. Stopping Power and Juggernaut need to come back. Okay, and then with Stopping Power Juggernaut, you can't have perk wildcards either, because there's no way you could have both. The Holy Trinity is Stopping Power, Jug, and UAV Janner. They all cancel out each other perfectly. Rock, paper, scissors. Call of Duty 4 had the best perk balance of any Call of Duty that has been out. The 3 slots of perks all had a very specific idea behind them, unlike now. The perk 1 or blue perks were an inventory bonus. The red perks dictated what kind of style you're going to have throughout the match. And the green perks were a small bonus to complement the weapon choice. You know, Iron Lungs, Fierce Sniper, Steady Aim, SMG, Deep Impact for long range AR or LMG. Weird how that works. Then you have your garbage perks like Martyrdom and Last Stand. And then of course Dead Silence for Search. Now, weapon attachments like Stock and Quick Draw are way more important for gunfights than the perks themselves in the game, which I think is horrible design. Call of Duty developers have tried multiple times to balance UAV, and I think it's impossible. It's either too powerful, like in Call of Duty 4 and Black Ops 1, or it's countered way too easily, like in Black Ops 1, Modern Warfare 3, and Black Ops 2. Do you guys remember Assassin Pro? Oh my god. Or it's just too hard to get and kind of worthless, like in Advanced Warfare and Black Ops 3, and it will get even, you know, also just get shot down by anti-UAV rocket launchers in every Black Ops game. Well, what's up with Treyarch's obsession with having rockets designed to shoot down UAVs? Who knows? So I think it either has to go, which would get rid of Ghost, or Stopping Power Juggernaut. They need to come back, and they need to be in the same slot as Ghost. It's the only way Call of Duty would be good again. And that's all I got. I mean, I feel like this is like a topic with endless discussion, because the community and the games change so much. Call of Duty used to be a game where everybody just ran around and killed each other, and then it turned into a camp fest because of Modern Warfare 2, where everyone just sat and tried to get kill streaks, and then it turned into a corner camping fest with Black Ops 1, and it's evolved so much, and it hasn't been fun for a long time, which is unfortunate. And maybe Battlefield will kill it. I don't think it will, but who knows? If you guys have anything to add or disagree, I can always tell you you're wrong in the comments. I mean, I definitely want to keep this going. I don't know if I'm going to write anything down again. Footsteps are very, very important when it comes to Ghost, because, you know, you shouldn't always need a UAV to know whether somebody is flanking you or not. I mean, I don't think it should be like Modern Warfare 2, we can hear people across the map, or like Modern Warfare 3, where awareness or Sit Rep Pro is just steroids. I think Black Ops 3 had a pretty good concept, or, you know, it had a pretty good idea of how the footsteps should be at launch with awareness. I think I would like to see a Call of Duty game with no sound enhancer, and with no sound enhancing perk, and everyone was just allowed to hear footsteps, and then of course you put Dead Silence at perk 3, and it would make you very, very quiet but not unhearable. You know, COD 4 is probably the best overall, honestly. Even though that game is old, it really does have the best of a lot of things. Dead Silence, you weren't, you know, invisible. That's not the right word, that's visual. You weren't undetectable with Dead Silence. I remember you cranked the Astros, you're the last one alive in search, because you could hear Dead Silence if nobody was talking, and if you had it on, and if somebody was sprinting very close to you, you could defend yourself. I don't know, footsteps are very important. And ghosts and UAV is very important, and they just can't get it right.